Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And pretty interesting day. Look, I mean, Sunday shows are not too frequent, as we know. Sunday news is not too frequent, as we know. But it does appear that we got a double medical coming up tomorrow, and I think that's very, very, very worthwhile talking about. So both Ligt and Mazraoui, two players who look to be on the verge of joining United. We have reports coming in from Germany that they've said their goodbyes today and that they will be flying in the morning to go have medical for Manchester United. And I've just had my phone go off there. Apologies, you guys heard that ad there. But yeah, look, it's looking like, you know, we've got a double done deal here. It's going to be two new players in. Hopefully, both can be registered and somewhat ready to hopefully play some kind of a role come the match against Fulham. I think it's on Friday night potentially. I think maybe we are opening up the league this season. I'm not too sure, but first match up against Fulham. Maybe we'll have Ligt, and maybe we'll also have Mazraoui. Look, it does look like we're going in without a left back, so we might see Mazraoui at left back. That could be potential. We could see Ligt come in and play alongside Harry Maguire, for instance, or Lisandro Martinez. These are all potentials. Johnny Evans still might play, but certainly does look to be a very, very encouraging sign for a very good Monday. Double medical. I'm expecting the double here we go tomorrow, and maybe, just maybe, we will actually see some kind of announcement on one player, or maybe both. Of course, I'm pretty sure both are represented by the same agent, which is going to help, so that means we've got everything done and over the line. And look, these deals are always a matter of time. We spoke about this yesterday on the watch-along during the match, of course, as we know, but I guess what's really key here is that And the reason these deals have got done, firstly, is Wan Bissaka has gone to West Ham. That deal is pretty much done at this point. They're probably just doing a medical tomorrow as well. So that deal is done. So the money has come in for Wan Bissaka, as well as that. Bayern Munich, of course, as we know, about to sign Jonathan Tah. So it does look like they've needed some money to get that deal done. So this is a deal that works for all parties. This is a deal that works across the board. I guess the question is for you guys tonight, and I would like to know your thoughts. Is that going to be the end of our summer transfer window, or will we go for more players? Let me know. Will Ligt and Mazraoui be the last signings this summer? It's a yes or it's a no. I still think we maybe need a little bit more. I really want to get a midfielder in, and ideally if we can get some kind of striker in, but I'm not going to hold out hope for the striking signing. I just can't see that happening. But we do have three potential outgoings, and these are worth our while having a look at, guys, as well. So we'll quickly run through these here. So this coming in from Sam C. Report, who of course is very, very heavily featured on the United stand. So decent enough source. He's saying Pellistri might go to Bologna. That is a deal that could happen. There's concrete interest from Bologna in signing Pellistri. Hannibal is expected to leave between now and the end of the window. There's a lot of interest from the French league in his signature, and Victor Lindelof's exit is also advancing, with multiple clubs from across overseas having a look at Victor Lindelof. So that could be three more sales. Hopefully that come in an extra signing on top. So maybe that's the midfielder. And I would also like to talk about Ivan Toney, because this is a deal that's it's starting to pick up a little bit of whispers and stuff online. You know, we're starting to see a little bit about that, and I guess it's maybe something worth looking into. He's probably going to leave Brentford on a free at the end of the summer. Sorry, at the end of the season. So it's very much worthwhile for Brentford taking what they can get. They've kind of priced the guy out of a move so far. Big up to Rajat and to Jeremy down there in the comments. Good to see you guys. Obviously, look, Sunday's not a usual show day. I don't normally do something on a Sunday, but I fancy doing a show here now, and I'll also be in Rich Sports as well later on tonight. But yeah, look, plenty of stuff I want to go through. I guess a big one as well came out this morning. We'll talk about this in some detail as well, as Bruno Fernandes extension to his contract, valid to 2027, plus an option for another season, is all set to be signed before the end of the window. So Bruno staying clearly for the next 3 years, potentially even 4 years as well. But I think Bruno's 29 now. That could take him up to, he's about 32, 33. Maybe at that point you start to have a look at it. Rajat medical is tomorrow. Yeah. Does look to be good. That's coming in from Pellistri, very good source for the German side of the story. So that word's coming from Bayern Munich, pretty much, that those players will be going in the morning for the medical. They've said their goodbyes and stuff. So these are the kind of details that we do look out for. But certainly, look, it's interesting. We got the Wan Bissaka update from Romano as well. Wan Bissaka in London this morning for medical tests. The formal process has just started, so they're getting that deal done. That could be announced tomorrow. So I mean, you might get Wan Bissaka announced, and you might have De Ligt and Mazaroui announced as well. So that could be a really, really big Monday. So definitely keep your eyes out on Twitter and on your phones as well, wherever you guys get your news from. I got Kazi down there. Good evening to him. Rajat, Bruno Fernandes, new deal. Yeah, it's good. It's good to say, like, we're getting things done, and we're getting things sorted, which is always a positive. And I do have to say, like, it's definitely good news, because for quite a while now, we've been stuck on Euro and Xerxes as our only signings, and we would like to see some more come in. So it's good to have those deals done. It's good to be bringing some more players in. There is a couple of other updates that I would like to go through, and maybe another potential option for those centre back areas. Mario Hermoso apparently has a contact from Manchester United, a contact taking place between United and the player. I think he's going as a free as well. So that could be yet another player brought in. And I mean, if we go into this, if we go into the season with Maguire and Martinez, Hermoso, De Ligt, and Euro as our first choice centre backs, with Johnny Evans recovering, that's a really, really, really strong set of centre backs potentially. But one to keep an eye out on. I don't think that deal is as concrete one way or another. That seems to be coming from Spanish sources, so we'll keep an eye out on it. But I would be surprised if Hermoso was a player we're going for at this point. I just can't see us bringing in 3 centre backs, but we will definitely have a look. He's got options on the table. He is available for free. But there is some good sales as well. Kazi says Hermoso is killing the deal. Yeah, it does look to be that way. I'm not surprised. I mean, he's at this point of the summer, he's not got a club as of yet, and if United genuinely do want him, then that's probably as good an offer as he's going to get. But we'll keep an eye out on it. He's a guy, I know he can play left back. I know he plays left centre back as well. Quite experienced. So whether or not we go for it, I'm not too sure. We'll find out in the coming days. Rajat said 21 people here to watch. Yeah, the views are going up as well. Rajat don't need him, but is he quick? I think he is quite quick from what I can remember as well, guys. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert on Spanish football. I don't really watch too much of La Liga or the Bundesliga. I would check out more Serie A stuff, but that's probably about it. But look, if we're looking at a double medical, that's really positive. Sky Sports as well, last few minutes have said, as long as there's no issues with Wan Bissaka's move to West Ham with his medical, let's hope that Mazraoui will have his medical on Monday as well. So, it's very much one in, one out in those positions. I guess it helps us because, as we know, guys, we've only got Harry Amas, I guess, capable of playing left back at the minute. We played Martinez yesterday at left back. That can't be the plan. So maybe you do see Mazraoui play there initially, or you see Dallo play there initially until we get our first choice left backs back. I'm not too sure. But yes, Rajat, that is true as well. Lindelof potentially going to go overseas. Some interest growing in him. He's kind of the interesting one, because I don't even think he was in the squad yesterday, which is unusual, because as we know, he wasn't in the Euros. I'm not sure if he's injured or what, but certainly I think Lindelof will be gone before the end of the summer. Like, I think that's pretty much guaranteed at this point. But that looks to be the signings. I think the big question marks is what comes after De Ligt and Mazaroui, because there will be something. I feel like we're going to go for a midfielder, and I feel like we might go for another forward option. But I would be more inclined to say a midfielder coming in. I think that's probably going to be the window. I can't see us bringing in, like, the talk online is Tony. Like, I can't see us bringing Tony, Xerxes, and Højlund up front. Like, we only play with one striker. I can't really see us going with that, to be honest. And the fact we got Xerxes already would kind of scream to me that we're not going to be going in for Ivan Toney at this point. Maybe next season, if he does leave Brentford on a free, that could be an option that we go for. But I think Tony's going to be at Brentford, for the rest of the for the rest of the season. But we will see how that there one goes. But certainly looks some interesting transfer developments. We got the Bruno contract, which is good news. We got De Ligt, we got Mazaroui, we got Wan Bissaka going. Then we have potentially 3 more exits: Pellistri, Hannibal, and Lindelof as well. So that could take us to 4 more exits, maybe 2 or 3 more signings in the ideal world. And it does start to ask the question: who's this midfielder going to be? A lot of the talk all summer long was Ugarte, but seemingly PSG will not budge on their valuation. We're not going to make that, so we've basically pulled out of that deal. I think that whenever we were seeing talk of United looking for a loan with an option to buy, that was kind of us conceding defeat in this transfer window in terms of a permanent sale. Obviously, PSG's preferred option was along with an obligation to buy, so we had to buy him regardless of how he played for us. So I think we've walked away from that deal. Artie's down there. What have I missed? I was cooking. Yeah, we got a fair bit rich. So obviously, as we know, like Ligt, Mazarouri medicals are looking like they're going to be tomorrow. That's coming in from the Germans. We have Wan Bissaka doing the medical for West Ham today, so that's positive, I guess. We have Bruno, new contract, pretty much agreed according to Romano, just waiting for the finer details on that, but that's going to be Bruno here until 2027 at the very least. And then, of course, as well as that, we've 3 potential outgoings, and we're looking at Lindelof, Pellistri, and Hannibal. I'm not expecting a lot for them. I think Lindelof goes for max 10 million. I think Pellistri goes for about 5 to 10, and I think Hannibal goes for 5 or less. I can't see clubs spending big money on those guys. You all say triple exit. I seen Hannibal and Pellistri look to be on the move. Yeah, that includes Lindelof as well, buddy. Jeremy said the same thing. Yeah, McTominay is the interesting one, as Jeremy says as well. Very, very much seems to be a case that we thought we could price Fulham up in their bids, and they haven't come back with another one. There's still that talk between Spurs and McTominay. They're kind of a little bit interested in it, but how deep that's going to go, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if it's going to be something that's guaranteed. I think maybe they would have a look, but they have just signed Solanke for quite a lot of money for Spurs, so I would be surprised if they go full score midfielder based upon that there. So it's one of these ones. I'm not too sure how that one's going to pan out, but it's certainly worth keeping a lookout for. And it's an interesting week because I think we're going to see quite a bit of movement this week. I would be surprised if we do get De Ligt and we do get Mazraoui over the line, and if we can get Wan Bissaka gone and maybe another player sold, that we're not sitting here in about a week's time talking about the last sign in the summer. I think that still could happen at this point. Obviously, United want to get the deals done before we go starting up preseason, the actual season, and the players and other clubs will as well. This is a busy time for the window. July can drag a little bit. August, the first weeks, they speed up, and then you get a frantic rush in and around the deadline kind of windows whenever people are starting to panic after the first couple of matches, results haven't gone their way, or somebody's got injured or whatnot. But certainly, look, it's interesting. Rajat said McTominay doesn't seem to mind to go to an English club. No, he doesn't. I think his priority seems to be that if he's going to leave United, it's going to be to stay in England. So that seems to be pretty much done at this point. That he'll either stay or go to another English club. The only clubs really I haven't seen anyone with any kind of interest, really. We're talking about Newcastle had a long-standing interest in him. Fulham had a few bids, all turned down by United. We've interest from Tottenham, but nothing really sincere. Rajat says, I don't think McTominay's going to throw a fit about leaving. No, I don't think so. I think he does seem to be fairly professional. Got Bart down there. Are you pleased that Mazraoui's injury record is horrendous? And should United's signings be judged? When would Ashford and Kobe judge? I guess you got to give it time. So I would say if you're sitting here in a year's time and everyone we signed this summer was an absolute bust, and we've brought in more players next summer, and we're questioning their ability and stuff, I think that's a point where you start to question and just have a general look at it, Bart. But I don't think at the minute that we've done too much wrong. I think Xerxes and I think Euro will prove to be exceptional signings for the club. It just depends on how the rest of them go down. We've more question marks about Mazraoui, quite a bad injury record, but I guess at the price, he's probably coming in not to be first choice, but probably just to be a backup to Dallo, I guess, in the same kind of way that Wan Bissaka was used last year, maybe just a backup option who can offer us more of what we want from those wide areas in terms of playing the ball, the overlaps, and some quality going forward. But yeah, look, it's a valid concern. A squad option or utility player is only as useful as their fitness is. You want those players to be fit and available so that when they need to be called upon, they're ready to use. But it's just going to be about how we use them, I guess. And Bart saying as well, I think Spurs will do quite well. West Ham maybe with a surprise of the first half of the season. Generally, Lopetegui's sides regress after Christmas. Yeah, look, they've had a good window. They've signed some very good players as well. I think Fulkrug will really suit them. So it's just going to be about how everybody else goes. Artie says as well, Mazraoui played left back quite a bit at Bayern. He has, yes, and I think that's going to come into the thinking. We've got Malacia, who we're not quite sure about coming back. We've got Luke Shaw, who we already know is seriously gonna be injured at some point in the season. I don't think you're getting more than 5 matches in a row from Luke Shaw without him being injured. So you've got to have different options, and whether that's going to be putting Dalot at left back and then playing Mazraoui, or playing Mazraoui at left back, because he's done it for Bayern, he's done it for the Moroccan team as well. Hakimi always starts at right back for them, so he's got the experience to do it. Bart said, I expect Savio to take over Alvarez, especially as he likes to hug the touchline. He's similar to Mahrez. Yeah, I mean, that whole deal with Julian Alvarez is an odd one. Like, he's undoubtedly a good player, but I mean, he's not an £80 million player, not by a long stretch. And I'm surprised that Atletico threw that amount of money around, to try get Julian Alvarez in over the line. They've already got Griezmann. They've already got Sorloth as well. So, there's different options there for them. But look, we got an update in the last 40 seconds here from David Ornstein on Aaron Wan Bissaka. This is as fresh as it gets. Work continues to resolve the Wan Bissaka move from United to West Ham. Issues between the 26-year-old and clubs. There's optimism at both ends, but United are relaxed at the moment. He's meant to travel to London today, but currently is still in Manchester. So there's the update there from David Ornstein. And Bart said, I expect to head pull off a blinder versus United in the Europa League. He probably will if we end up coming up against them. Raja said, hope Mazraoui allows us to play from the back. Well, I think, yeah, I think his ability will help. And, he does offer some good things as well. In terms of his qualities going forward, he's good on the overlap. His runs are pretty intelligent. He's a taller defender as well. I think he's like 6 foot. So we were adding some height at least to the back line. So I don't have much questions over the player's quality in terms of the price. My big questions will be about his availability. Can we keep him fit? Can we keep him ready to play? And I guess that's going to be where the real crux of the Mazraoui signing is going to be. Because if he can stay fit, I think you got a good player there for the price tag. But Bart says, for all of City's criticism, on the financial side, you have to admit it's been very well run from 2018. It has been very well run. They get really big sales. Their business coming in on paper is low. We know that obviously they're paying a lot more for these players and also paying these players a lot more than what the books are saying. But it will be the signing of the season for United in the season overall. I'm not too sure. Like I would have said Euro is going to make a big difference to us, but I guess at the minute it's going to have to be Xerxes since we're missing Euro for the first part of the season. I think we're just going to have to say Xerxes because he's the only other player we've actually got in at the minute. If we're talking overall, I mean, there's a lot of good players have come into the league. I think Solanke will be good for Spurs. I think they'll get a good few goals out of Solanke this summer. But I mean, some of it is odd. You kind of look and see what Chelsea are doing at the minute. You're asking how these guys got 8 goalkeepers on the books. Just signed Pedro Neto for £55 million, and we'll probably end up signing more and more and more players. They seem to be buying players every day, man. So I'm not sure how they're doing it. But Bart said, I think Viper Solanke. Yeah, I think Viper will be good for Brighton. I think he's gone too, so I'm sure he'll definitely bring some quality there. There was an odd rumour went online as well. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It was like saying Arda Güler to Brighton. Raja, could Xerxes not have got 15 or 20 minutes? I'm not too sure. I mean, I wouldn't have minded it. Like, I think we could have put him on instead of Sancho, and I think that would have been interesting because I think we just lacked that, kind of focal point. And whenever Rashford went off and Sancho came on, there's nobody even running in behind. So you couldn't play the ball to Rashford in behind. You couldn't have it stick up front as well. So I think, I would have give Xerxes a go, but hopefully he can play and is fit enough to start against Fulham on Friday night. I think that's going to be key. Chelsea run adoption shelters or what? I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know. They've got 8 goalkeepers. They got about 10 left wingers, 4 right wingers, 3 strikers, about 100 midfielders, loads of centre backs and wing backs, and somehow Reece James is still getting injured without kicking a ball. Yes, Xerxes played behind doors. Maybe he did. I'm not too sure. I actually haven't seen anything about that as well. Xerxes just came back from holiday. Maybe it failed, would have put unnecessary pressure. Maybe, but it's one of those ones. It's like it's a charity shield. Like I said it several times in the watch along, which unfortunately managed to crash out as well, which is just a pain. But I think we managed to get the laptop issues sorted. I took it apart and to absolutely cleaned out the fan and just had everything put back into it, and it looks to be going good now. But Bart says, should Eric have 2 6s in his system or 1 6 2 8s? I think we look better in a double pivot. You know, last season we tried to get away with playing Casemiro as a single pivot, and it was just a disaster. I think just having someone deeper in there and playing out there makes much more sense. Rajat, 78 goalkeepers, what is that? Then they sell players. Yeah, they do. And I think they're hoping to sell Conor Gallagher. I know there's talk about him going to Atletico, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, there has to be a plan. If I was a billionaire, I would have hired Chelsea's accounts to do my taxes. They're out of dodging FFP despite spanning a million players. It's one of those ones. It's like, you know, I think one of the moves they made this summer was for Chelsea to buy a hotel that Chelsea Football Club owned, and Todd Bowley bought it through his own company, like for an obscene amount, well over the odds, and that all went into Chelsea's books as just upfront cash. So that's obviously a frustration, but I don't know how they keep doing it. You know, if you are a billionaire, I'm sure they know some good accountants. I'm sure that's how it all happens, like, and how it all goes down. Anyway, look, guys, interesting poll there. We've got 42 votes on it so far. 45% are saying that there will be no more signings after Ligt and Mazarouri. However, 55, the majority think we might get another player. I'm assuming we're all thinking the same thing, that it might be a midfielder. I can't see us bringing in more strikers or anything like that there, but you know, work to be done still. We've got work to do in this. And it's just important that we keep doing that there. I can say that thing about Xerxes. He was not penciled in to get minutes yesterday unless he was absolutely needed. He was kept fresh to play in a behind closed doors today, and it was decided that it could benefit him more in his transition to the United team. So I'm not too sure who would have been playing in that. But I haven't really seen much about that. I might actually just look this up and just see what people are saying about Xerxes. If there was a behind closed doors, don't even know who would be playing. Probably a local team. Like, I'm not too sure, but we'll find out. We'll find out. But it is good. Like, and I think someone else has pointed this out. There's a theme of the signings this summer. Xerxes 6'4", Yoro 6'3", Matthias de Ligt 6'2", Cheeto Obi Martin is 6'2", Nazir Mazraoui is 6 foot, and if they do bring in Sander Bears, he's 6'5". You know, we're definitely trying to add some height and physicality to our team, which I think we need. Nubis says we will sign at least a DM and a left centre back. I think we'll get the DM. I don't know if we'll go for another left centre back unless it's going to be Hermoso on a free for a small amount of an upfront signing, I guess. But look, Ordenstein's saying here, Mazraoui's arrival at United is contingent on Wan Bissaka departing the club, so we need to get that done and over the line in terms of Wan Bissaka going. Bart said one reason Madrid doesn't have reason to FFP is because Perez is one of the richest men in Spain, so he does bring some credit to the table, unlike Laporta. Yeah, I mean, the deals at Barcelona are just shocking, man. Like, I don't know how or why RB Leipzig ever agreed to those terms to sell Dani Olmo to them. Like, that was insane. But I'm not too sure, man. I'm really not too sure. Anyway, look, guys, we got 22 likes on today's video. We got 48 votes. Most people seem to think that we will be signing at least one more player as well. Bart says Alex Garcia of Girona is a good DM. A little bit Zubimendi has the energy of Bird. His role led Girona to the Champions League would have been a great sign. He probably would have been. There's another guy everybody keeps telling me about as well. I don't know if anybody has much knowledge of the Spanish league. I assume Bart does because he's been talking about it. Jay, if not Ugarte and Zubimendi goes to Liverpool, who do we sign? I just think we're getting priced out of deals, so I think that we probably will be looking at cheaper options. You know, Bears seems to be one that is happening pretty seriously, I guess. But you know, there is potential other signings that we might go for. There was one I did see talked about. If he's playing for Real Betis, I wouldn't mind having a quick little look, see if I can find him here. Johnny Cardoso, yeah. There was talk about him, 25 million. I'm not too sure if anybody knows La Liga too well, but if anyone could talk to me about Johnny Cardoso, I'd be interested. What about Eindrich of Leverkusen, Fofana or Kona? I can't see them going for that either. But almost not the player Barca need. They need a fast winger like Nico Williams. Olmo can play on the wing, but then Lewandowski would have to compromise. Yeah, I think they just need a bit of pace as well on that side. Day rate Alex Vidal can play as a right back in DM. Surely this isn't the same Alex Vidal who once played for Barcelona. Surely not. Like, because there's no way that guy's still in the go. There's no way. But yeah, look, if anyone has seen much of Johnny Cardoso from Real Betis, please let me know. Because from the numbers I'm looking at, they look pretty impressive. And I've seen some clips, but it's one of these things. It's like I really hate basing player opinions based on edits we see on like Twitter or TikTok or anything, because they just show you the good stuff. I'm shocked Damas wasn't on the bench for the City game. We don't even have a single defender for sub. Yeah, look, those are the frustrating points about Ten Hag. Like, I think, yeah, you could have had Amas on the bench, or like there wouldn't have been much harm in it, because we ended up playing Facundo Pellistri at right back, and because he wasn't the right back, he doesn't know how to defend those roles. Will Tadebo do well for West Ham? Surely he could have done to a bigger club. It depends, like, because I don't think Tadebo is as good really as what he was cracked up to be. I think he's decent, but I don't think he's exceptional. But we'll see. Gregory says United just need a DM. Didn't say Amrabat or Rabiot. Yeah, I mean, I would be keen to look elsewhere. I'm not too fond on Amrabat personally, and Rabiot's not quite the one that we need for me. But you know, I'll be open-minded. Maybe Eric Ten Hag and Ashworth and everybody else will see more than what we do. Do you think we got enough up top, considering all are fit? That's an interesting one, you know, in terms of numbers. Yeah, because you got Xerxes, you've got Højlund as your strikers, you've got on the left hand side Rashford and Sancho and probably Garnacho. On the right you got Anthony and Ahmad, you got Bruno, you got Mount who can play in those attacking midfield areas. So in terms of depth, yeah. In terms of quality, you know, then you're asking the bigger questions. I don't think we got the amount of money needed to bring the quality needed in to improve upon what we got at the minute, and that's what I think the big issue is. Now, I mean, there might be shrewd deals out there that could be done. I remember someone had told me that Alvaro Morata was available for 8 million. Like, that could be a decent option, I guess. He wanted a third striker at that price. Different profile, hard-working player. Not that he's exceptional, but, you know, certainly would bring something to the table. Might move Dallo to right back and put Aaron Wan Bissaka at right back. They might do. With the Ligt signing, we don't even need Tadebo anymore. Even if he is available next season after returning from a loan, we might go after Brandtwit. Yeah, we might do. Like, you know, we still could do that. And I think Brandtwit will depend probably upon the fitness of Lisandro Martinez. If Martinez is another season like he did last year, getting injured all the time in that left centre back area, then I could definitely see us going big for Brandtwit next summer. So it will be important for Martinez to stay fit. Will Villa regress this season? Emery's team tend to lose the plot after a while. Look at his tenure at Arsenal and Sevilla, even Villarreal. I think they've added some quality, Bart. Like, I think Onana will be a good signing for them. You know, I think they got decent improvements. It depends. Like, playing midweek football, playing European football, even in the Champions League, is going to be very different for Aston Villa in this season, and it just depends how they handle that as well. Not all clubs can handle the increased fixture list, and I think with the new rules and the way they're doing it now, in terms of the, you know, using like an actual league table, teams are going to be playing more matches than ever, and it might make a difference. I'm not too sure though. I'm not too sure. Anyway, guys, if you could drop a like and hit the sub button, that would be much appreciated. I am going to drop off here now because I am going to be on a show with Rich, I think, at 8:30. So that's going to be on Rich Sports as well. So if you guys can go check that out later on, that would be amazing. Thanks so much for joining in tonight, guys. Should be live during the week as well. And I'll catch everyone in the next one as well. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in.